Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody for being in attendance today. It is 6:02. I call this meeting to order. Item number 2, roll call and declaration of quorum.
John Anais here.
Oscar Salinas here.
JJ Peña here.
Francis Salinas present.
And Armin Garza present, I do declare a quorum. Number 3, can everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 4, approval of tax collector's report.
Also move.
Second it.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 5, approval of minutes. Can I entertain a motion?
I'll go ahead and make motions for 1 and 2 for approval.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas and a second by Mr. Alanis. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Moving on, item number 6, superintendent's report.
This evening, for the superintendent's report, we'd like to have the recognition of our dropout recovery department. I'm going to call Ms. Marina Abdullah to do that. I'm going to ask Mr. Alanis and Ms. Salinas to please step forward to help us recognize. Yeah.
Mr. Garza, Board President, members of the Board of Trustees, Superintendent Benavides, it's my pleasure to introduce or to present an award to a department that has been working every day to increase our graduation rate and decrease our dropout rate. So we have, first of all, from Area 1, Claudia Gonzalez.
And in a little while, when we have the discussion item, you'll see the work that they did.
Graduation Specialist from Area 2, we have Erica Salinas. Graduation Specialist, Area 3, Melissa Zavala. Not able to be with us this evening, we have Dropout Transition Specialist, Roxanne Flores. And leading this department, we have our Dropout Recovery Coordinator, Ms. Berta Perez.
Congratulations, ladies. Job well done. This concludes the superintendent's report. Thank you, Mr. Alanis and Ms. Salinas.
To you ladies, we'd like to extend our gratitude because of you, our students are given a second opportunity to be able to provide for themselves and further their education, so thank you. Moving on, we have our discussion items. Item number 1, discussion of investments and investment earnings as of May 31st, 2018.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. Mr. Board President, members of the board, Dr. Benavides, ladies and gentlemen, we bring the investment and investment earnings report as of May 31st, 2018. I'd like to direct you to page 16. On page 16 is the investment summary as of May 31st, 2018. These are the balances in those accounts on May 31st, 2018. The general fund had $84.8 million. The general fund reserve is $7 million. The debt service fund had $3.1 million. The workers' comp fund had $13.1 million. The unemployment fund had $2.6 million. The health insurance fund had $4.8 million. The food service fund had $2 million. The merit scholarship fund had $175,000. The tax collection fund had $1.2 million. The print shop had $93. Howling Trails had $3,800. And the sports and learning complex had $37,590. The total as of May 31st, 2018 is $119.1 million. Those are our cash balances as of May 31st, 2018. Any questions on our cash balances investment summary report? If not, I'd like to direct you to page 30. Those are our investment earnings as of May 31st, 2018. That is the amount of interest we earned from September 1st through May 31st. The general fund had earned $959,000. The debt service fund had $44,900. Workers' comp fund had $154.8 thousand. The unemployment fund had $31.3 thousand. The health insurance fund had $47.6 thousand. The food service fund had $11,000. Merit scholarship fund had $716. The print shop had $166. Howling Trails Golf Course had $311. And the sports and learning complex had $2. Our total investment earnings as of May 31st, 2018 is $1.2 million for the year, compared to $840,000 the year before.
And that
And-
was on page 29.
29?
Yes.
Sorry. Any questions on our investment earnings as of May 31st or our investment cash balances as of May 31st? If not, Dr. Benavides, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Vela. Moving on to item number 2, dropout and graduation rate report.
For this report, we have Ms. Abdullah to share the information and a little history on how the district has done.
Board President, Mr. Garza, members of the Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Benavides. I have here a report, and then before you, you have it also, and it's a 5-year study for La Jolla ISD on the dropout rate and the graduation rate. I'm going to go ahead and start, and it's both the state graduation and dropout rate and the federal. So I'm going to go ahead and start. With the annual dropout rate, 5-year comparison for La Jolla ISD. And if you look up here, you see that this is from 9th through 12th grade. The state looks at our 9th through 12th grade students. Are they staying in school? If you look there on the top, you have the 2013, 2014, and then it goes to 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, and then this year, our rates for this accountability period. We started off with the district at 3.0, then we went down to 2.7, kept 2.7, went up to 3.1, and this year we're reporting a 2.6 dropout rate. 4-year dropout rate for La Jolla ISD. The standard for the state is 2.7. So we're below the state rate. So- Okay, and then if we go, we broke it down by school. So you'll see La Jolla High Schools and Juarez Lincoln, Palmview, Jimmy Carter. They didn't have one then, but you see how they've all gone down. We want the dropout rate to go down. All the schools went down, including the district. 4-year. Next, because the state also looks at ELL students and our English language learner students and special ed, this is for LEP students. Dropout rate. We started off in 2013, 2014 at 6.1, went down to 5.3, went back up to 5.5, then 5.2, and now we're at a 5.0. It decreased by 0.2. And if you look, you see La Jolla decreased, Juarez Lincoln decreased, and Palmview High School went up. But the average was still a negative 0.2. We went down. Special ed, another area the state looks at. We have, for the district, we started off with a 4.4, went down to a 3.4, down to a 2.4. Last year went up to a 4.0, and this year we went down to a 2.6 for special ed. And you'll see La Jolla went down, Juarez Lincoln went up in their special ed rate, dropout rate. Palmview went down. So the average was still a negative 1.4 because you want to decrease your dropout rate. That was state. The next one you have there in red is the federal. The federal government now looks at 7 through 12. They don't look only at 9 through 12. They're seeing how many of your students are dropping out beginning in 7th grade. And they only look at these special populations. They don't look at all students. They look at LEP, they look at CATE, they look at Title I, migrant, and special ed. So as you look at those rates, you see in the 2013-14, LEP went from a 4.2 to a 3.5 to a 4.0, 3.2, and today they're at a 2.7. So they did very well with our LEP federal dropout rate. CATE, 1.5, went down to a 1.3, stayed at a 1.3, went down to a 0.8, now they're at a 0.5, also decreased. Title I, which are most of our students, the same thing, 2.5, 2.4, 2.4, and this year 2.0. Migrant from a 3.6, 3.7, 4.3, 4.0, went down this year also to a 3.4, and the same thing with special ed, 3.7, 2.8, 2.6, 3.0, and today they're at a 2.2. Perhaps probably the most, they gained the most, in this case in the federal special ed, with a 2.2 dropout rate. Any questions on the dropout rate?
I have one, Miss, and I know, again, a good job in y'all's department, you know, student services and everything that y'all do. Are we losing these kids from Mexico? I mean, that's what I'm discussing here. Is it people that are just not leaving our district to other districts, or?
We have all kinds. We have kids who are leaving to Mexico, kids who are being in school, kids who are going to other districts, and then just kids that we can't get to come back because they're already working. They don't want the flex schedule. They just want to sustain their families, all kinds.
And those are the ones you can't find at all.
Yeah, we find, and they don't want to come back. And we have all the documentation with home visit, social workers going out there trying to offer all kinds of resources. And some we do convince to come back, and some they don't, and some we can't find.
We
The
do
next-
appreciate. Go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. The next section is the state and the federal graduation rate. I also wanted to add, Dr. Benavides, when you talked about now we're going to have 400 and something for less kids, and I know that Mr. Alanis asked, well, what attributes to that, and we're hoping it's that we're also decreasing the dropout rate. We're bringing our students back.
Yeah, because that's the other thing
That's what you asked.
I was gonna comment on is we just had the work session and we're looking at losing another 400 and some kids. So hopefully, the job that you all are doing. So again, thank you. You know, I know we recognize some of the ladies in the department, so, and that's what Dr. Benavides had said, you're gonna see, and we're seeing that it goes up and it goes down, but, again, commenting on all the work
But
that y'all do.
in this year's the lowest also of the dropout rate, but you want to decrease. The graduation rate is even better. I want to go here. The graduation rate, there's again two rates. For state, they look at a 4-year graduation rate, kids that graduate in 4 years, and they also look at kids who graduate in 5 years. And that's for the state. And then you have the federal graduation rate. So here for the 4-year graduation rate for the district, in 2013-14, we started off with an 84.9. This is all students. We went to an 85.6, 85.3, 86.1, and this year we increased 3 points with an 89.1 for all students. And then on the La Jolla High School, you can see La Jolla High School went up 2.9 points. Juarez Lincoln went up 3.8 points. Palmview went up 4.1. So all those increases gave the district, all the high schools increased their graduation rate, which gave the district a 3-point more on for the 89.1 4-year graduation rate. And then we go to the English language learners 4-year graduation rate. For the district, we started off at 53.8, 51.9, 67.8, 65.0, and today we're at a 72.9, a 7.1 increase. The most, I guess, the increase now, and also due to our department and also to the bilingual department led by Ms. Zuniga. So you see also all the high schools went up. And then we had the 4-year graduation rate for special ed, and you'll see we were at a 71.4, then we went 81.1, 82.8, 83.5, and this year 82.9 for a loss of only 0.6. And you'll see La Jolla High School did a dramatic jump in the graduation rate from a 78.6 to a 90.7, a 12.1 gain. Juarez Lincoln went down from a 90.6 to a 79.5. So we still have to know what happened there. And then the 81.8, Palmview also went down on a 77.3. But what helped us was a big raise up from La Jolla High School. That's the 4-year. The state, when they do our accountability, they look at either the 4-year or they look at the 5-year. They look at the best one, at the best rate. For the past 4 years, we've been going for accountability with the 5-year. And this year we will go again with our 5-year graduation rate because it's the highest. So we'll start with La Jolla ISD in 13-14 was at 88.6, went up to 88, went down to 87.7, up 87.8, and this year for the first time in history, La Jolla ISD is at a 90.4. We're at an A on that part. We're 2.6 points up. And if you look at La Jolla High School also, they went up 4.2 points. Juarez Lincoln went up 2.6 points, and Palmview went up 0.08, went down 0.08. But still, we're at a 90.4. The 5-year graduation rate for ELL is at a 55.2, then went up to 62.7, went down 54.6, 74, and today they're up at a 76.3, 2.3 points higher. And then special ed was at a 78.7, went down 76.8, went up to an 80, went up to a 90.1, the only one, which was last year's accountability, and this year they're at an 85.8. And you'll see the schools that contributed to that. All the high schools' graduation rate for special ed went down. And then the federal graduation rate, on this one, they only look at the 4-year, they don't look at the 5-year, and again, they only look at special populations for federal graduation rate. And LEP went from a 50 to 47 to a 65. Last year, 62.6, and this year, a 7.3 gain of 60, at a 69.9. so went up 2. Kate went up, is the highest. The Kate students are at a 97.7 graduation rate, increase of 1.2. Title I also went up, and they're at an 87.6 with a 3.6 increase. Migrant went down, or went up 2. Went up 0.4. And then special ed went up also in the federal from a 73.6 to a 77.7. Any questions on the graduation rate?
No questions. I think, I wanted to make a comment that on page 40, this 90.4, we've been after the 90 for a long, long time. And we would get close to it. You can see we were 87.8, 87.7, 88, but never got to the 90. So we're really, really proud of the work that these ladies have done in all the departments, all the high schools, looking at kids individually to make sure that we see what is needed so that we can get them back in school and graduate. And a very special thank you to the Board of Trustees for allowing us to have the different opportunities for kids such as CCC and the academies in order for kids to get caught up with their credits and be able to graduate on time, which is in 4 years, and if not, in 5 years. And so it has definitely paid off. And for the first time in the history, for our all-student category in the state accountability, we have the 90.4. And so we're really, really proud of that.
I just wanted to add that it's the hard work that y'all are doing, because I was telling Dr. Benavides as you were presenting that if it would have been for you all, imagine losing the students and then not recovering the students. So it has helped us out a lot as an entire district. So muchas gracias. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
At this time, we're moving into item 3, discussion of court hearings in the school district.
For this discussion, Chief Raul Gonzalez will share the information.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Benavides, community. As we continue to move forward in securing our schools above all the things that we do, unfortunately, we still continue to see young teenagers make a mistake and try experience with drugs. So over the last 17 years as a school district, we've continue to try and implement different programs in our school district to try to see if we can make a difference in a child's life, and hopefully we can, in some ways, try to convince them to not get involved in this. So, some of the programs that we've done are the Crime Stopper program, the First Offender program, having officers at the schools. Recently, several board meetings ago, one of the trustees requested that we continue to do more in doing some trainings with some of our officers and obviously some of our staff. Well, as we continue to battle with this type of situation here in our schools, we're always looking for resources and ways of implementing here in our school district. And recently, the Honorable Librado Keno Vasquez from the 398th District Court approached the district wanting to have a sentencing hearing in one of our schools. And this would be as an educational value for kids to learn and understand the consequences of getting arrested for drugs. So what we've done, we're in the planning stages, and this is why we're here to report to you. We're in the planning stages with the court, the district attorney's office, to have a hearing in our school district so that we can make an impact in a child's life. So we're gonna come back and enter into a partnership with the court and the district attorney's office. And the last hurdle that we're gonna have to work on is trying to find a defendant who is going to agree to have his hearing be heard at our school, okay? So we wanted to let you know that that's another project that we have engaged in, and we're gonna be working on it, and we wanna do this hopefully at the beginning of the school year. So we've already made all the necessary meetings, and we've already discussed how we want to do this. The only thing is trying to find a defendant, okay? And just in case the community hears that we are looking and working on having a sentencing hearing in our school district, we want for the trustees and the community to know that we're working on that as another resource to hopefully make an impact on a child's life. Questions or comments?
No, we just appreciate the initiatives you all have undertaken in order to provide more awareness and information to students on how the legal process works. So we do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Chief.
At this time, we have public comments. Would you like to step forward?
Buenas tardes.
Hello, ma'am.
Mi nombre
At this
soy Minerva.
At this time, we're going to get started. You'll have 3 minutes. Go ahead and speak. At
Okay.
this time, at no point in time will the school board be allowed to respond, and we will start you in a few seconds.
¿Entendió más lo que le...
Sí.
Que tengo 3 minutos
Tienes 3 minutos.
para. Ujú. Ok.
Puede
Buenas
comenzar.
tardes. Soy Minerva Cantú. Soy madre de Mariana y Fernanda Cantú. Mariana recién graduada de la Early College de la Joya. Fernanda va para grado 10, igual en Early College. Estamos aquí porque queremos saber en base de qué se otorgan las clases AP. Y digo esto porque al grado 9 de la Joya High School regular se les ofreció una clase AP y a los de Early College no se les dio. Sabíamos que en grado 9 no se dan estas clases. Y con lo que estamos viendo que a los de la Joya regular les están dando gran ventaja sobre nuestros hijos para los ranks. Miss Benavides, usted había dicho que iban a ser los mismos derechos y oportunidades para todos. Nosotros entendemos que el gran beneficio de la Joya Early College es el asociado. Y es un asociado muy bueno porque es interdisciplinario, que se puede usar para cualquier carrera, en caso de que los estudiantes todavía no saben qué carrera escoger. Sabemos esto, pero hay alumnos que pueden obtener el asociado y aparte tomar clases AP. Sabemos que son más difíciles, por lo que valen más para los ranks. No entendemos por qué se las niegan o por qué los frenan o limitan a estudiantes que tienen la capacidad de las dos cosas. La Joya High School regular se puede obtener también un asociado, igual que en Early. Además, los de la Joya regular tienen 4 clases AP por año en 11 y 12. Salen con 8 o más clases AP. Mientras que a los de la Joya Early College tenían 2 y le quitaron una, solamente les dejaron una por año. El señor Antonio Cano, principal de la Joya High School regular, se beneficia con los resultados buenos grados de los estudiantes de la Joya Early College porque se suman con los de la Joya regular y así sube el nivel educativo ante el Estado, que sabemos que iba bajo. En la graduación del año pasado, los estudiantes de Early querían algo que los distinguiera como estudiantes de Early. No se les permitió porque se les dijo que eran todos estudiantes de la Joya High School regular. Si al final todos son igual, ¿por qué no los dejan tomar clases AP para que tengan oportunidad para los ranks altos? Estos 5 años que ha estado la Joya Early College, ha estado abierta, ha demostrado con buenos resultados que están cumpliendo su propósito. El principal, Domingo Villarreal, y su equipo de maestros y administrativo han cumplido con su responsabilidad, aunque los han traído como pelotita de ping-pong, de un lado a otro, mitad en uno y mitad en otro. Aún así, los resultados son buenos. Esperamos que no la quieran cerrar de nuevo. Saben ustedes que un asociado en esto les permite a los estudiantes escoger cualquier carrera. Es excelente. No estamos pidiendo 4 clases AP, pero si el alumno puede con una clase, que no se la nieguen. Si los estudiantes de la Joya regular quieren clases de colegio, se les da. Al igual nosotros queremos, si los estudiantes de Early College quieren tomar más de una clase AP, que no se la nieguen. Nuestros hijos deben de tener los mismos derechos que todos los estudiantes. Esperamos cambios positivos. No queremos ni más ni menos que las mismas oportunidades para todos los estudiantes de cualquier academia por igual. También quería comentar que en la cena de los 25, 25 de estos estudiantes, 11 eran de la Joya Early College. Estos estudiantes tenían más de 60 horas, por mencionar. Yara Sánchez, 82.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Sandra Martínez,
Please forgive me, but your time is up.
ya.
We do appreciate you coming and expressing your concerns,
Okay.
and we will take them under consideration.
Ok, gracias por su tiempo y su atención.
Thank
Muchas
you, ma'am.
gracias, me encantó.
Muchas gracias.
Moving on, moving on to consent agenda.
Mr. Garza, on consent agenda, under bids number 3 and 4, I would like to pull those out and have a work session. There's been some questions, and I'd like to be able to look at that carefully. Items number 3 and number 4 under bids.
And also be pulling on number 5 to make an appropriate motion for that, bringing it back right after you're over with the consent agenda.
Okay. With those items being pulled out, can I entertain a motion for the
I'll
rest
have
of?
a motion, I'll motion on the consent.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 9 on contract. Discussion and possible action to award the former Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, and Collins Mott LLP and contract for delinquent collections. Can I entertain a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. President, motion that Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott be awarded a 3-year contract for the delinquent tax collections services that's set on the contract.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas, a second by Mr. Peña. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, discussion and possible action on resolution authorizing proposed resale foreclosed real estate properties pursuant to Texas Property Tax Code 34.5 A, C, and D.
Also move.
I have a
Second.
motion by Mr. Salinas, a second by Mrs. Salinas. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Moving on to item number 5 on item, bids, rejection of property and casualty insurance, CSP 2018-74.
I'd like to make a motion to move and reject the sole response and authorize administration to direct the insurance consultant to receive an RFP with the market assignments provided to participate in insurance agencies for no less than 45 days for response.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, rejection of STEM field program CSP 2018-79.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 12, contract termination requested by Thera Kids Incorporated.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Alanis. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to business and finance, item number 9, acceptance of substantial completion for the La Jolla ISD LED lighting project, various sites. Can I entertain a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas. Can I entertain a second? I have a second by Mr. Alanis. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Item number 10, ranking of competitive seal proposals for Jimmy Carter Early College High School renovation. Can I entertain a motion?
Also move on it.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mrs. Salinas. All those in
I have
favor
a
signify.
question here, Mr. Garza. Is this the new, I don't know who's, is it under you, AJ? Is it to renovate everything in that area, or? Okay, but it's the same one that. we-
About a meeting or two ago, I think they brought something forth that this part of that building had kind of sunken in. And so it'd be for that renovation, am I correct?
It should,
Yes, it's for the shifting.
thank you.
Do I have a second?
Ms. Salinas.
Ms.
second.
Salinas,
Second.
Ms. Salinas, second.
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, negotiate contract with contractor offering best value to La Jolla ISD School District based on published criteria on ranking evaluation of competitive seal proposals for Jimmy Carter Early College High School renovation.
Also move.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Alanis. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Item number 12, discussion and possible action on terminating agreements between La Jolla ISD with wind, air, solar, and Ecoelectrics.
Also
Mr.
moved.
President, members of the
And I-
board, I recommend a motion to postpone that item to a later date.
Yes, I'd like to make that motion to postpone that and have a work session on that as well.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Ms. Ochoa, a second by Ms. Salinas. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Jerry, isn't this a company that's been on board for 4 years already?
I know
If
that
I'm correct,
they've been
AJ?
on for some time, yes. That's correct.
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 13, discussion and approving of entering into investment grade audit for phase 2 of a guaranteed energy savings performance contract with Performance Services via interlocal purchasing contract 170103. Can I entertain a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve this item and authorize our legal counsel to execute any documents necessary.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carried. Moving on, item number 14, appointment of official delegate to the alternate to the Texas Association School Board.
We-
This is not one that you have to do, it's just giving you the opportunity if you want to do.
You have a
Is there any
suggestion?
board member that would like to?
It depends if there's a trustee that wants to serve.
Any of you guys want to represent the state level?
Okay, good.
I'll make a motion to nominate Mrs. Francis Salinas. Wait, no.
I have a motion. Can I entertain a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas, a second by Mrs. Ochoa. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those
Thank you, Ms.
opposed?
Salinas.
Motion
Thank you.
carries. Good luck, Ms. Salinas.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Moving on to item E, Human Resources, School District Teaching Permit for non-core academic CTE courses.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas. Can I entertain a second?
Second that.
I have a second by Mr. Alanis. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. At this time, at 6:39 PM, we are entering executive session pursuant Government Code 555071, 555072, 551074. Okay, we're back from executive session. It is 7:55 PM. Item F, item H.
Mr. President, I'd like to make motions under items 1, 2, 3, and 4 as discussed in executive session.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Alanis, a second by Mrs. Choa. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to thank everybody for being here and excuse us for our timely executive session. Now, with that being said, can I entertain a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
And just for the record, Ms. Ochoa joined us at 6:07.